Hey y'all, hey, it's Sharita with BLNK SPCE Designs after a pretty significant unplanned online break. Whoopsies. Is it February 7th, a full 5 weeks into the new year? Yes, yes it is. Is my Christmas tree still up? Yes, yes it is. Save your judgment. Is this tiny corner of my bedroom the only area of my home that's even semi-presentable? Yes, yes it is. Will any of that stop me from recording and putting out a 2024 recap? No, no, it won't. My new year officially started just a few days ago, so to be quite honest, I feel like I am right on time. For those of you who have been here a little while, some of you may be saying to yourself, hey, Sharita, is that your face? And yes, obviously, it is my face in front of a camera for all of Obama's internet to see. This is not how I thought I would start my 2025, but here we are. Part of my unplanned break was due to the overwhelming amount of behind the scenes and small business footage that I had accumulated over the last couple of months. Between my corporate job and the holiday retail rush, I just did not have the time or even the desire to edit any of that footage. So I didn't. I kept putting it off and putting it off until we were sipping wine and screaming karaoke lyrics at my New Year's Eve party. And bright and early the very next morning on January 1st, it dawned on me that I hadn't posted anything in months. If you look at any of my past videos, you can very clearly see that I was attempting to do a small business kind of faceless YouTube channel. I think I'd even talked about it a little bit and just pretty much said that I wanted to kind of have a little bit of anonymity when it came to my online presence, and I kind of just wanted my privacy. A lot of it just had to deal with the fact that people are rude and people are mean, and I didn't really want to put myself out there and possibly open myself up to a lot of miserable people's comments. However, it seems like a lot of editing is needed in order to truly do a faceless channel in the way that I was attempting to do it. And because I hate editing video footage, I just could not maintain any kind of consistency with posting and uploading any other videos. And to be quite honest, when any of my friends asked me about my YouTube channel, I kind of shrugged it off and at some point just considered letting the whole thing go. Until a couple of days ago, where a very nice lady that I follow on Instagram posted this nice little nugget in one of her reels where she essentially just said that anybody that's attempting to do any content creation should stop being so dramatic. Turn the camera on, record the video, and just post it. That's it. It sounds so simple and so straightforward, but she's absolutely correct. A lot of what I'm attempting to do, like grow a community here and laugh and giggle with y'all in the comments and just have a grand old time here in these YouTube streets, all I really needed to do was turn the camera on, record, and just put it out there into the world. So that's what we're going to attempt to do here. I was completely overthinking it. So here we are. Camera on, hair slightly curled, and the only tidy spot in my entire home, ready to record and just post. Because I really do like doing this. I like sharing my small business wins and the woes. I like giggling and squealing over all the things that it takes to run this tiny business. Editing was a sore spot, and I'm sure will continue being a sore spot for me. And as we continue to get further and further into 2025, I want to make editing as stress-free as possible. So I'm going full into the talking head, vloggy type of content. Many people have assured me that this kind of content takes a lot less time to edit. I don't quite believe them yet, but I will give it a try. So here's hoping that this way proves to work for me a lot better. So now that we have all of that out of the way and we have all pinky promised to be nice to me on these internet streets while I attempt to get into a much more public type of content creation, let's get into the numbers. For those of you who may not know, I am a financial analyst during my corporate 9-to-5 big girl job. I have about 20 years of financial and accounting experience, and there is no way I'd be able to effectively and efficiently run my business without staying on top of all of the numbers. 2024 was the best sales year that I have ever had, hands down, no competition. This iteration of my small business has been in effect since about 2019, and I'm sure that a lot of the things that I've put into place since then really helped to make 2020 the best year ever so far. Can I quit my corporate job and completely live off the proceeds of my small business? Absolutely not. Not even close. Am I no longer in the red, however, and able to invest pretty significantly back into my business? Yes. And that is very, very exciting. As a reminder, my small business revenue comes from 6 different income streams. Those streams are my Shopify site, blankSpaceDesigns.com, Etsy, Fair Wholesale, pop-up events, the retail space that I'm in, and any kind of custom orders that I do throughout the year. Most of my custom orders, I'm sorry, all of my custom orders come from friends and family. I'm not really into doing a lot of custom work for anybody outside a very small group of people, only because, as most of you probably already know, custom work tends to come with its own challenges and its own headache, and I'm just not interested in any of that. The retail space blew every other income stream completely out of the water. 72% of my sales came from the retail space. It is hands down one of the best decisions that I made last year. I was very doubtful about entering this retail space. Nothing to do with the people or the management. They're actually very lovely. But this is the second time that I have been in a retail store. And my first experience was terrible. It really was terrible. If you would like to hear a little story time about that below, let me know and I'll let you know just how bad it got. Spoiler alert, I'm currently suing the manager of that space. But again, we can talk about that later. This current retail space, I had a lot of doubts about it because of my past experience, but went ahead and pulled the trigger, and it has been so good from the very beginning. I love how it's managed. I love how clear cut everything is. The manager there, Alicia, great. I love her to pieces. She is so good at what she does. She is the best at communication, and I love how the store looks. I love how just everything. I cannot praise that retail space any more than I already have. So again, from that retail space, 72% of my sales came from everything in that retail space. Second on the list came from my pop-ups. I did 9 vendor pop-ups last year. There may only be about 5 or 6 of those I would probably return to them. 3 of them were they were kind of so-so, but 13, about 14% of my sales came from pop-up events. So even though it's significantly less than the retail space, it did bring in a nice little bit of change. And I enjoy chit chatting with folks in person. I'm a bit of a yapper, as the children are saying these days. So I really do enjoy pop ups, and I want to make sure that I continue doing those this year. Next on the list after the pop ups is Etsy. I know. Everybody has a complaint about Etsy. The fees are too high, it's too saturated, AI is the pits, just all of the different things. Etsy works decently for me. And Etsy is one of those things for me personally that I can post things there. I just post and forget it. And whatever happens, happens. And the Etsy algorithm and the marketing thing and all that, it just kind of works for me. Definitely doesn't bring in the majority amount of my sales, but I get pretty consistent sales on Etsy. I will say with Etsy, a lot of my sales come from stickers, and since it's such a lower price item, the actual amount of sales doesn't amount to a crazy significant amount. However, I do know that I get the most repeat customers through Etsy. So for the foreseeable future, I don't see myself pulling my shop from that platform. Not yet, at least. Not yet. After Etsy, my Shopify site, the fair wholesale, custom, all of that kind of falls into the same kind of percentage. I didn't do as many custom orders last year as I've done in the past, mainly because I was just a little too busy. So there were a couple of things that I did have to turn down because the turnaround time was just a little too fast for me. My Shopify site, my Lord, I just didn't put a whole lot into it. When it comes to running your own site, you really have to be on top of the marketing and the SEO and just ads if you want to get into that. And I didn't do any of that. Not one bit of it did I do. I didn't do any of that. So my site isn't very profitable at the moment. That is something I want to get better at going into 2025. But in 2024, it did not bring in that many orders. It's very pretty if you want to check it out, but I still have a lot of work to do to make sure that that my actual personal site is working for me as best as possible. So My sales and income were pretty good for my small business last year. Because of that, my expenses proved to be pretty high as well, but that was on purpose. I decided to take advantage of the pretty consistent sales and invest in new equipment. I bought two new heat presses. I bought an additional wide format printer that I love. If you are looking for, side note, if you are looking for a good printer, the Epson brand, first of all, is great. I have four of them at the moment. Two of them are the Epson ET8550s, and they are so good. Just so good. I'm pretty sure I talked about my love for these printers in another video, and I might give you an update now that I have multiple of them. But again, they're so good, which is why I spent a little bit of my income last year in investing in another wide format because I needed to be able to print things even faster than what I was able to with just the one. I also spent a pretty penny attempting to make my studio as functional and efficient as possible and trying to pretty it up a little bit, to be quite honest. I spent a lot of time in there and I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to be pretty and I wanted it also to function in a way that didn't slow me down when it came to a lot of my production of the products. I am currently heavily in the midst of that makeover. I know that I have been talking about the studio makeover probably for the last 4 months, but I promise the only reason that we're not in that studio right now recording that video is because there is no room. It is full of open, unopened boxes. The floor is covered, and I can barely open and close the door to get in and out. So I promise that I am working on it, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks, it'll be all ready to go and we'll be walking through with a brand new studio tour. Now, back to my expenses. Again, I spent a little bit more money last year than I originally planned, but it was all for a good reason and all going back into the business. 77% of my expenses all went towards my office supplies bucket. As of right now, the office supply bucket is pretty broad. The office supplies bucket includes any of the materials I need to make any of my product. That's any of the paper, the ink, those are the printers, all of the decor and all the functional pieces and storage that I bought in order to do the studio makeover. It includes any of the magnets, the vinyl, I bought a new Cricut last year. Yes, that was last year. I bought a new Cricut last year. All of those things fell into my office supplies bucket, and that made up 77% of all of my expenses that I put out last year. Next on the list was my shipping and postage, and that fell at 9%, which grew a little bit, but that's completely understandable. As small business owners yourselves, more than likely you are aware of the price changes in shipping and postage over the last couple of years, so it just comes with the territory. I currently use Pirate Ship, and I do believe it's comparable to any of the other shipping platforms, so I don't see that particular expense going down anytime soon, mainly because I don't know how to ship anything any cheaper. So that's where that 9% comes from with the shipping and the postage. The rest of the expenses were spread across my phone and my website fees, hosting, any subscriptions that I might have, just all those little bits and pieces spread out across those expenses. But again, the primary one for me ended up being my office supplies, which makes perfect sense. As of right now, I think I have made pretty good progress on the kind of investments I want to make into the business. I think I have a sufficient amount of printers. I think I have most of my materials kind of locked down, the quality materials that I use to make all the products. I have that pretty much locked down. And I'm loving how all of my products are coming out. I don't foresee there being any significant expense needed this year. I think I pretty much have everything I needed unless something was to just blow up in my face. Ugh, why did I even say that out loud? Please, please. I need everything to work. I shouldn't have even said that out loud. Anyway, hopefully everything works like it's supposed to for the remainder of the year, and I don't see myself putting out any significant amount of money for any large expenses. I think it'll all just be my regular overhead, replacing ink and paper and all those type of things. I think that will just end up being what my expenses are for 2025. I want to attempt to work a little bit better on my cash flow this year, especially now that the business is pretty much No, not pretty much. The business is paying for itself, which is chef's kiss. So good. I'm so excited about that. Since the business is now paying for itself, I want to make sure that I pay attention to my cash flow so that when we do get into the heavier parts of the year, namely the holiday season, I do have that available cash ready to be able to do product launches or to jump into more pop-up events if that's what to do. Or if I do get to a point where I do need to drop a significant amount of money on some new bit of equipment, then I am able to do so. So now that we have talked about income and expenses for 2024 and just how good it was for me, let's talk about 2025 and what I'm hoping we can get into and what I can accomplish for 2025. One of my main goals for 2025 is to increase my sales by 35%. I know, I know it might be a little lofty and quite delusional. I've decided though for 2025, me and delusion like this. We're the best of friends. We're going all in. Whatever happens, happens. My other goals for 2025 is really going to support that 35% increase. One of those goals is to participate in 6 or more pop-ups. I do pretty well in person. I have found that out by the mere fact that my products sell very well in the store and at pop-ups and not so well online. So I'm going full in into any online sales to really try to get to that 35% increase. I'm also going to attempt to be in 3 retail spaces by the end of the year. Do I have a plan regarding that? I don't. Do I have any idea how to even go about finding other retail spaces? I don't. It's pretty competitive here in my area, which is the Raleigh, Durham, RDU, RTP area. It's kind of competitive. There are quite a few retail spaces that are all very beautiful and do very well, but there are also a lot of handmade businesses in my area. So, it's I got very lucky getting into the retail space that I'm currently in. I've applied for others in the past and I've not gotten into any of them. So I need to come up with some sort of plan on how to go about getting into more retail spaces. I'm going to look into different cities in my state: Charlotte, Greensboro, High Point, Asheville, that sort of thing. Maybe look at other states and see if I'm able to just ship my products to them. I don't know. I'm not really sure yet how I'm going to go about doing any of that, but that is on my goal list for this year to be in at least 3 retail spaces by the end of the year to support that 35% increase. I also want to streamline my product catalog. As of right now, all of my stuff, very cute. I love it, all my cutesy little things. And I can sell quite a bit of them. However, selling 3 or 4 stickers or even 50 stickers is not really going to hit the bottom line as hard as I need it to. So I'm definitely going to continue selling a lot of those smaller, lower price items. But I do need to think about what higher price items that fits my brand and that I enjoy and that I would want to put out to my customer base. What higher price items can I make and provide to kind of help with that 35% increase? If y'all have any ideas for me, let me know down below. I do apparel a little bit and it's kind of fun for me, but it doesn't really move that well. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have, I don't know. I just really got to think about that and see what I am trying to do when it comes to some of those larger products. And a lot of that is just going into my product catalog and really streamlining that and making sure that I'm offering a lot of things across the board, across different kind of price ranges. Does that make sense? I think I want to absolutely do that. One of my other primary goals for 2025 has to do with content creation. I will say that I'm currently doing the first one. I wanted to get back into making videos and I wanted to step outside the box and do something different. And this is as different as we can get. I don't think I've ever been in front of the camera ever when it comes to this small business. So this is definitely different for me. And it's a great way to go ahead and check off that first little goal for 2025. I want to put a lot more focus on my online presence. Not only because I know exactly how it can affect my small business and its actual sales, I do want to put a big emphasis on building a blank space design community in whatever way that possibly looks. I want to hype each other up. I want to hold each other accountable. I want to laugh and giggle and bemoan any of the woes that you might also be having in your own small business. When it comes to the goals for my social media presence, they are absolutely lofty and they absolutely go hand in hand with this delusional area that I'm currently in. In 2025, I want to have at least 3 brand collabs. I have no idea what that looks like. I have no idea what brands I'm pitching to. I have I have no idea. There is no plan, but the goal is at least 3 brand collabs in whatever way that looks. I also want to have 1,000 followers on TikTok for the primary reason that if you have 1,000 followers on TikTok, you are able to go live. And I am really interested in going live on TikTok. I spend a lot of time in people's lives on TikTok, and it's just a lot of fun. I love interacting with people in their comments. I love interacting with whoever the influencer or the business owner is. It's just really a good time, and it's a great way to be able to interact and talk with people in a real time. This is a lot of fun, but a lot of times, I can't talk to y'all or really get your suggestions or opinion until days after I've recorded any of this. But if I was able to go live on TikTok, then I can get suggestions a lot quicker. I can get some of your recommendations, just all of the laughing and kikiing that I would love to do. But I have to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok first in order to get that capability. I also want to grow my Instagram following. There isn't like a specific number for that. I just kind of want to grow my Instagram following just because, if you're working on one platform, you might as well spread across all of them. And because all you're doing is recycling the same content across all your platforms anyway. So I just want to see my Instagram following grow over there as well. My primary and quite possibly the loftiest goal that I have when it comes to my online presence is I want to be monetized on YouTube. The girl who wouldn't even show her face last year and who ended the year with a whole 181 subscribers wants to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Now, is it possible? It absolutely is. I follow quite a few people who were able to get that done in 18 months, 6 months, a year. I follow plenty of people who are able to get that done. Am I going to be able to do it? We'll say yes. Yes, yes. We're being positive this year. Yes, yes, I'll be able to do it. That is my primary goal when it comes to my online presence this year. I want to grow my YouTube to the point where I am YouTube monetized. And for those of you who don't know, that's 4,000 watch hours and I think 1,000 subscribers. I think YouTube is probably the platform for me, mainly because I love long form content. I love watching long form content. I love making long form content. One of my one of my biggest pet peeves about TikTok, Instagram, even YouTube Shorts or whatever is recording 50 minutes of content that I then have to squish down into 60 seconds or less. It is the most aggravating thing ever. And I know in this age of short attention spans and a lot more diagnosis of ADHD, people really do love short form content. So it's fine. I could throw a few of those out sometimes, but long form is where it's at. Personally, for me, I am a yapper. I can talk, and I can talk a lot. So long form is where it's at for me. So YouTube, I think, is going to be my primary platform because it's fun over here. It's fun over here. I can put out my 50-minute, hour videos, and people are going to eat them up, hopefully. Hopefully, people are going to watch them. So, those are my social media online presence goals for 2025. Mhm. There we have it, folks. 2024 was a pretty good year. It was a pretty good year for me professionally and even personally, to be quite honest. All the things that happened for my small business in 2024 just proved to me that I am able to grow this small business, that I am able to do what it takes in order to make sure that my business pays for itself, that I'm not losing a ton of money trying to keep this afloat, and that people are interested in some of the things that I am providing. I'm looking forward to all that 2025 holds for Blank Space Designs, and I'm very excited about the community that I plan to grow here and across all the other platforms if I'm able. Let me know below what your plans are for 2025. I want to join you in the comments and hype you up or ask you some questions or make suggestions, and I want y'all to do the same for me. I'm here for you, and I want you to know that you got this. Whatever it is this is for you, whether it's that degree, whether it's your small business, whether it's buying that house or that car, whether it's just saving more money and not eating as much avocado toast in Starbucks, whatever this is for you, you got this. Okay? We are all about positive delusion all of 2025. Join me. It's going to be a great time. As always, folks, thanks for rocking with me. I'll see you around the internet somewhere. Bye.